now. Okay, here we go. We are recording our VSAC paying for college presentation. So again, just make sure you apply. If we were face to face, I would say look to your left, look to your right. Only one of the three of you are going to apply, because that's really what it comes down to. Like you can see, there's not that many people attending this webinar, so that's an indication of the priority for folks. The thing about scholarships, I know that you feel like, oh, it's all this work and I never stand a chance. It's not like that. Like, again, we have students in every class get VSAC scholarships, and even if you get one scholarship that's $500, right? You put in less than an hour's worth of work to get this done, and that's $500 an hour. Like it's worth the invested time, and so we really encourage you to take the time to apply. Okay, just a reminder, we did most of this stuff in the fall, but we jokingly call this the arc of glory, right? So we started you with the college timeline and how that process works, and taking you all the way through the application process. And now here we are, we've covered FAFSA, and now we're covering VSAC scholarships. We will do another one of these for local scholarships that are run through CHS specifically. But yeah, we're there. If this doesn't look familiar to you, and I know that some of you, maybe not in this webinar, but we've got some seniors who are asking questions from the stuff that's pretty basic, like they've never attended any of our webinars. So tell your friends to attend our webinars so that they know what's going on. If not, all the stuff is posted on the website. So if you forget something that happened today, this video and this PowerPoint will be on the guidance website by the end of the week. All right, so here's the deal. How do you deal with scholarships? Well, here we go. We're talking specifically about VSAC scholarships today, but on the guidance website, we've got resources for financial aid. Take a look at FastWeb. And in Naviance, you all have your Naviance accounts. There are scholarships in Naviance, and they're updated. And in fact, I can show you right there. So there you go. Up at the top, when you log in, you go to the scholarships section, and here they all are. It tells you if they're active or not, the most recent updates. And so as they come in, Ms. Ward drops them here in Naviance. And so you can see, and there's such a wide variety of scholarships in here. And so it covers a lot of ground. So I would strongly encourage you to take a look in Naviance on a regular basis and see what's available, and just keep plugging away. The story that I love to tell, I tell it all the time, is when I was back in Minnesota, there was a girl who attended the local version in Duluth, Minnesota of St. Mike's. It was the College of St. Scholastica. And I was buddies with one of the admissions folks there, and he's like, dude, I got to tell you about this kid. Now, granted, she had the bona fides, right? She was a really good student, and she did community service activities, but she didn't work a job. She didn't work a part-time job. What she did is she gave herself a part-time job of applying for scholarships. That's all she did. She worked 15 hours a week applying for scholarships. Now, I'm old, this was a while ago, right? So it's actually quicker now on the internet, but she would do everything she touched. She would find out if they had an application, right? So she'd be eating her breakfast. Oh, Post Toasties. Pick up the phone, call the number. Do you guys do a scholarship? Oh, you do? Cool, send me the stuff. Like, this pen, like she'd be like, oh, this maker of this pen. Oh, Northfield Savings Bank? Oh, I'm gonna call Northfield Savings Bank. Do you guys have a scholarship? Oh, cool, send me the stuff. Everything, quite literally, everything she touched, everything she encountered, she would find out if they had a scholarship and she would apply. What do you know about applying for scholarships? There's only so many questions they can ask you. There's only so many essays you can write, right? So over time, you become super efficient, right? Because you don't have to rewrite an essay for every scholarship you apply for. You're probably just going to pull from an essay that you've already written. And so she got really effective at it, and she paid for 100% of her out-of-pocket costs. So she got the academic scholarships, she got the financial needs scholarships, and then whatever money was left over, she was able to pay that through scholarships. So she graduated with no debt because she was really aggressive about applying for scholarships. Ms. Pastore had a student who graduated last year who picked up on that lesson and just went for all of the crazy scholarships that he could find and applied for them, and got a couple of them, right? So you can tell that story if you want to.
Sure, yeah. So and Mitch shared it very out, put it out there, but he looked at scholarships and would just type in anything and random stuff, and he found ones that were like, if you're over 6'2" and you have a beard. So he got scholarships for that. And there's so many just random scholarships out there that make a huge difference. And so and like FastWeb's up here, but there's so many other ones. We've got other ones listed on our financial aid worksheet, which is on our website. And really, even VSAC, their resource library, I know, Liam, you have a bunch of books on scholarships too. So there's just so many out there that don't get claimed every year and roll over, and you never know. Like Mr. Hall, you had a bass fishing one.
Oh, sturgeon fishing, actually. Yeah. So that same time I was in Duluth, Minnesota. Yeah. So in Wisconsin, sturgeon fishing is a big thing. And there was this kid who's like, I'm a sturgeon fisherman. Well, this scholarship had gone for like 5 years and no one had applied for it. So this kid applied, and the sturgeon fishermen were like, let's just give him everything. Let's just not give him the 1 year amount. Let's just clear out the account and start over. So instead of getting $500, he got like $2,500 or whatever it was. So, you gotta, it's again, like the lottery, you can't win if you don't play. Check with your folks at home, your family members. Like the Vermont Grocers Association has a scholarship. So if you work at Shaw's or Hannaford or Peachops, you should be able to pick up an application and apply. It may be your parents, like if your parent is a police officer or a firefighter, those unions have scholarships. Global Foundries has a scholarship. So there are plenty of scholarships through parent employment and guardian employment. So again, the thing is, look, turn over every rock and find scholarships and apply, because you don't get the money if you don't ask for it. So that's the big lesson of the day. You can't win if you don't play.
My favorite one from last year is we had a couple kids apply for the How Would You Prepare for the Zombie Apocalypse scholarship. That was a cool one. Yeah.
That is a cool
one of those.
I like that.
So there are online copies of the VSAC scholarship book, and that is the way that pretty much they're really encouraging students to do this. So you go online to vsac.org. We have a few hard copies and guidance as well, if you definitely are about that, but very few copies this year. I think they're really going away from paper copies. The deadline is February 11th. So right now, for those of you who are on the webinar, or if anyone is watching the recording afterwards, you can take just a minute right now to get out your phone, whatever sort of source of keeping track of deadlines, and I'll give you a minute just to put in February 11th. So you make sure, because if you miss that deadline, you will not be eligible for the money. So you want to make sure you hit it by February 11th.
And while you're doing that, for those of you who have older siblings, this is new this year. Like they used to have two deadlines. There used to be an early bird deadline and then a regular deadline. There is only one deadline this year, and that's this one, February 11th.
Yeah, I would just encourage folks to not wait till the 11th. Like all websites, that's a heavy traffic day for us. So if you can tell yourself it's the 10th or the 9th or the 8th, I'll put a PDF link for the scholarship book in the chat, and you can email me, danaher@vsac.org anytime. If you've got specific questions, I'm happy to answer them as they come up.
Liam, I think the chat is only going to us as panelists, not to everybody.
Oh, my bad.
Just so, yeah, you don't, but we could put something out together, and send it out in an email format to students if we wanted to.
Yeah, and I would even
add a slide.
Plugging into your phone, like February 5th, just because if you run into a problem, or there's a big snowstorm, or there's an issue, and you immediately, you can't find your social security number to fill out the part of the application, you need some information that you can't get. You don't want to get hung up and super stressed out and not be able to get that information by the deadline.
Yeah. So in fact, I'm gonna throw into that some really practical stuff where you can see. We're going to cover this in a few slides, but you will need a copy of your transcript, and you will need a letter of rec, maybe, or so. And these things are easy to get, right? A transcript. But if you're going to email me at 11:30 on the 11th to get a transcript, it ain't going to happen because I'm going to be unconscious, right? So I'm not going to be able to do that for you. Likewise, a letter of rec, if you want a letter of rec from one of us, or if you want a letter of rec from one of your teachers, we've already written for you probably, and we're very happy to reformat it for the VSAC scholarship, but that takes a few minutes. And so again, that's not going to happen at 11:30 on the 11th. So if you make those deadlines, like the 5th or the 6th, that gives people a few days to reformat their letter, or for us to get a transcript uploaded. Aside from just common courtesy to the people you're asking, it's just practical. Right, some things take time. So there you go.
And just a reminder, statistically, only a third of students will apply for these scholarships. So just make sure that you're, part of the third and apply, the numbers wise really is in your favor to do these. And it's free money. You don't have to pay it back. You can put it towards books. You can put it towards housing. You can put it towards your tuition. I mean, there's so many different things. It's yours to use. I know we had a question in the chat. Liam, did you want to answer that? Or in the Q&A? It was is it too late to start applying? And are most good scholarships past deadline by now?
Definitely not too late. I mean, it's literally never too late, but like the best time to start was a month ago. The second best time to start is right now, so it's not too late at all. Most of you have probably entertained applying to college at this point if you're here in this on this call. So take that essay that you've already crafted. I think Mr. Hall mentioned this a few minutes ago, but you've already got the essay done, which is literally the hardest part. Your transcript is already done, which is, you just need to talk to someone in guidance to get that uploaded. So the work is done. You just need to send a few emails, spend a little time on Google, and you can make yourself a couple $1,000, which Ms. Pastore just pointed out. But if you make $1,000 and you don't have to pay that back with interest, and you spend 2 hours doing it, that's like $5.50 an hour, which is a pretty solid hourly pay rate. So for sure, it's not too late at all.
And in the books that we're going to be doing, everyone will be eligible for at least one scholarship, but most people will be eligible for 3 to 5. So we'll show you how to look at a specific scholarship and tell you, and we'll show you how to tell if you're eligible. But generally, I think almost everybody's eligible for at least one scholarship to be able to at least apply for. And the how do I apply? So there's just one application, as Mr. Hall mentioned, that's good for all the scholarships. Application can be found on www.vsac.org. And we're going to come back to this step because everyone's going to make an account before we leave today. At least that's our hope, if we have time before 2:30. And but if not, you'll make an account on VSAC if you don't already have one. Some of you already do because you did the state grant. And when in doubt, go back to the page 1 in the booklet. All the directions are there, and is super easy to follow. So just make sure you're going back to that page 1 if you have questions.
Somebody in the chat asked a quick question about demonstration of financial need. Most scholarship organizations are going to ask for your FAFSA, or pull that FAFSA either through the institutions you're applying to. So if it's UVM scholarship, they're going to pull your FAFSA from UVM financial aid, and they'll have their own way of determining that. At VSAC, it works the same way. When you fill out the FAFSA, we get that automatically. Some folks have a misunderstanding of what the FAFSA is and how need is determined as well. So somebody might say, well, my parents make X dollars, I'm going to qualify, or my family has a different situation. But different scholarships are going to measure financial need differently. So I would encourage you to fill the FAFSA out regardless if you think you have need, or you have too much need, or not enough need. It's generally just one element of a scholarship selection process. I can speak for the VSAC. The way we do our scholarship selection, I do it all the time. I've been doing it for 10 years. We look at a rubric. So if you have a rubric in your English class for how your essay is graded, there's like grammar, uses, mechanics, topic, organization, clarity, and you get a score 1 to 5, right, on all of those criteria. Functionally, that's exactly how the scholarship process works for us too. If the scholarship is a history major for students from Chittenden County who demonstrate financial need and have a record of community service, you're going to get a score for all those things. So just because you might not meet every criteria doesn't mean you're not going to be a good candidate to apply. So hopefully.
And plus, Liam, it's only compared against the people who are applying, right? So there's no minimum standard. So if 10 people apply and 9 of them are Rockefellers, then you're the 10th and you make close to Rockefeller, but not quite. Well, then your need is more than theirs.
All right.
Great. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Ms. Moran.
Okay. All right. How will I know what documents I need to apply? Ms. Pastore, did you want to jump in though before I start this?
Yeah, I just had a couple of really good questions that were coming up around the VSAC account, and just should you use your school emails or your personal ones? 100% your personal one, because VSAC, you are going to be likely working with them for a long time. So yes, make sure it's personal account, because you can't go back after you graduate to get your Colchester account. And then someone else said, can you still apply for state specific scholarships if you don't know where you're going to go to college? And the answer is, I'll let Liam answer that question.
Specific to the VSAC process, yeah, just apply. Many students, you'll know the deadline's February 11th for this. Many seniors, if you talk to your social network, don't know where they're going to school yet. And for many students who might profess that they know where they're going to school, that plan might actually change. May 1st is traditionally decision day. But in my experience, students are making that choice well into the summer. So definitely apply. On our financial portal, when you fill out the grant application, you do list schools you're most likely to attend. When you complete the FAFSA, you list all the schools you're considering attending. For our internal process, when we are looking at need, we don't necessarily consider the school you're definitely going to is not the only thing we consider. So yeah, keep applying, apply to many scholarships. The scholarships will probably inform your decision in some ways, where you choose to go, how big your gap is with your financial aid. Hopefully a small gap at the end. Really good.
Okay. All right, so documents, how do I know what I need to apply? So again, the booklet is really, really, really clear. If you ever have questions, go back to the beginning of the booklet. It's on the VSAC website, Google VSAC scholarship booklet, and just read through it. Each scholarship will tell you which documents you need to submit. If you need a transcript sent, let your counselor know via email. Just give us a couple days notice and we'll upload an official transcript for you. We can go in through VSAC through our own portal and upload for you. If you need a letter of recommendation from your school counselor or teacher, they've probably already written you one. If not, well, if they have, just let them know via email. Hey, I'm applying for a VSAC scholarship. Would you mind sending a letter of recommendation for a scholarship for me? I'd really appreciate it. Give them about 3 days to upload to VSAC. You'll need to let your teachers know that they need to change the wording and format. This is really important. VSAC likes a certain format. We're going to show you what that looks like per the details of the scholarship booklet. On the slide coming up, you'll be able to see what that looks like again, and they lay it out for you pretty clearly. They get a lot of applicants, so they need a system to be able to go through them, and they want a format, so we need to accommodate that. If you haven't already asked for a letter of recommendation and you need one, you'll need to give the recommender 3 to 4 weeks to write that recommendation. So looking at your calendars, that doesn't give you a ton of time. You're going to want to get on thinking about asking folks for recommendations if you need one. So here it says turn to page 2 and check out the types of letters of recs that you may need. You don't need to turn to page 2. We're going to show you what page 2 looks like.
I just want to throw in there, Ms. Moran, that we want this process to be as simple as possible for you. So don't reinvent the wheel. If people have already written for you, use those letters. Like, unless you need a fresh letter for some reason, like you need a brand new letter, then you have to ask like now. But chances are you've got the letters you've already needed, whether it's us or your teachers. It's just reformatting, which takes no time at all. Like, don't start from scratch. Like, use work that's already done. It's easier for you. It's easier for us. Like, take the things that already exist. There's no need to start from zero.
And then this is just a basic life skill. We talk about it all the time, but please, please, please think about writing a thank you note to folks who write you a letter of recommendation. Your teachers take a lot of time to do this, and they put a lot of thought and effort into it. So it goes a long way, and teachers really appreciate it if you write a thank you note.
Yeah, and Tom Hanks will actually write those notes with you if you
Yes.
ask him.
If you ask really nicely, and
If
then
you ask
write
really
it,
nicely.
you know, to Tom Hanks.
Yeah, for sure.
And just remember, if you're going to ask for like someone to write, kind of update the letter for you, and you haven't written a thank you note, it would probably mean a lot to have a thank you note written before you're asking for them to then go back and reformat the letter for you. Just so no matter who's written you a letter, making sure you're taking the time to write them a little note and just say thanks for taking the time to do that and on your behalf and helping you out.
I just realized we were going to go to, it said go to page 2 and go over it. And I thought that we had a screenshot of it and we didn't, but
It's okay. We're gonna
Well, do we get there? Okay.
We'll get there. Yeah.
Just for those of you who have the ambitions of doing internships and or applying for jobs, it's not a horrible idea to just like start a folder on your personal G drive and keep a copy of these rec letters. That people are taking time to write a great rec letter about how wonderful you are. Please, if you feel differently, say so. But if you want to apply for a summer job or maybe there's an internship you want to apply for, it's never a bad idea to be prepared for the next thing. So people have already, and you just need to let people know that you might reuse their recommendation letter. Like I've had folks just let me know that they're reusing it, or let me know that they're listing me as a reference on a job app, and I'm more than happy. So definitely worth saving for sure.
All right, so we're getting short on time, so I'm just going to move pretty quickly. Do you need to write an essay? Yes, you do. But the cool part about the VSAC process is it's a very specific and structured essay. So even though you are starting from zero, it's a pretty simple format, and you can see this is what we're talking about for the formatting, right? So on the left-hand side of the screen, you see what the recommendation should look like. So the letter is already written. They just need to do the formatting with your name and what type of letter it is, your date of birth and all that sort of stuff. And then say, Dear Scholarship Committee, easy peasy. It's a really simple formatting change. The essay, we've got the picture of it there. We'll show you on the real deal what it looks like. But basically you're saying, okay, here's the essay. And then there's 4 segments to it, right? Segment 1, commitment goals. Like, so that you actually put that heading in your essay, commitment goals, and then you write 3 or 4 sentences, and then you go financial need, and you put that header in there, and then you write the 3 or 4 sentences that apply to financial need, and then you do your community service, put the heading in there, write that. That's how structured and formatted. So it's not like I have to come up with some massive creative idea and start from zero and write a 500-word essay. It's not that. You put the headings in there, you write the sentences that will apply to those headings, and then you're done. It's really straightforward. Okay, and then that's the VSAC process. Within the VSAC scholarship book, however, there are some extra scholarships that have a different application process. Like, for example, there's a nursing scholarship in the back by an organization that doesn't keep their money through the VSAC process, but VSAC has made it easy for you by putting that scholarship in there, and you can say, oh, I'm going to apply to nursing, so I'll just apply. It tells you where to get the application materials, how to do that process, all the documents you need, and then you can apply for that scholarship. And we've had students get those scholarships as well. I am going to, if it's possible, I don't know how to get past this header that sits on the top of my screen so that I can, I need to make it go away so that I can show you.
You might be able to pull it down, but like it might actually be able to move down. If you just put your cursor on it, it can go.
No, it's, yeah, let's do this. Okay, VSAC assisted scholarships. Let's get that out.
And while you're doing that, oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, here's the book. Okay, so I've got the book. Here we go. You ready? All right. So there's only 2 types of essay that you have to write. Okay. There's the general essay, which most of them will require. And then there's one specific scholarship called the Samara Scholarship, which CHS students have gotten in the past. And that's a very specific scholarship for a specific essay for one scholarship. So with the exception of that one scholarship, everybody's writing this one. And again, there's the headings. That's exactly how they want you to format it. Focus on commitment goals, financial need, community service uniqueness. And then you write the words that apply. Super simple. And then the letters of recommendation, there's 4 different kinds, but again, Samara is one scholarship, very specific. There's a few performing arts scholarships that require that kind of letter, a community service letter, but it will tell you in the book what ones you need. So the number 1, the non-relative general letter, is typically the one that has to be in there. That can be our letter, that can be a teacher letter, super simple. Okay, so this is a very quick and easy process. I'll come back to this once we are.
I definitely have seen students scrambling to get like a community service letter or a music one, or one that's more specific. So really like looking at this book as soon as you can and coming up with that, and then asking the people to write that, because it has to be someone who's actually overseeing a community service activity. And a lot of them will require that to say.
So the next slide Ms. Pastore is going to talk about is this page. And so you can see how they're all on the, there's like several scholarships per page. And then here's one that all of you are eligible for, pretty much, more or less.
So the only, and what you can do, it tells you high school students, undergrad program, which all of you will be applying towards, full-time, which all of you are going. And it tells you a little description of the scholarship, and then it just says what's the eligibility. Be a high school senior who resides in Chittenden County. Liam, I'll just defer to you. If a student goes to our high school but lives in the islands, should they apply, like up in Grand Isle, which is in Grand Isle County?
I know, I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
Is that technically not in County, or is that in Franklin County? Or
It's Grand
It's
Isle
Grand
County.
Isle.
Grand Isle
Yeah.
County? Oh, that's embarrassing. That's a really good question.
Yeah. I feel like go ahead and apply. I mean, because you're going to be applying to more than one most likely
Sure.
anyway. So I think if you are good with that answer, like probably, but yeah, he's looking at enroll full-time, seek a bachelor's degree, which is a 4-year degree, demonstrate academic achievement and financial need. And again, that's all relative. So we recommend no matter what, apply, no matter what you think, because it is relative against everyone else who applies. So whether or not you think you're in the top of your class, that's still fine, still apply. Same with financial need. And attend an accredited school approved for Title IV funding. Majority of schools are do accept that. You could look online at the colleges you're looking at, but majority will. And required documents, it'll tell you exactly what you need. So Unified Scholarship app will be for all of them. The FAFSA, so as long as you've done the FAFSA, VSAC will get your FAFSA. So as long as you've submitted your FAFSA, they will be able to have that at VSAC. Recommendation letter #1, essay #1, and an official transcript. And we upload the recommendation letters, like our personal ones. If it's from us, your teachers can upload theirs or get it to us and we'll upload it for them. And so even if, generally like a lot of teachers will not show you the letter but we can upload it from our end. And, but you'll upload your essay and we will upload your transcript. It'll tell you if it's renewable or not. It'll tell you how much it is and how many scholarships they have and what their selection is. And then it will tell you estimated number of applicants. So 190 applicants and one person gets it, which seems like a lot, but in the scheme of scholarships, those are great odds. So just again, you can't win if you don't play. And we recommend going through the book and literally just crossing out the ones that you are not eligible for and circling the ones you are, or whatever system works, but literally just go through all of them. And it's actually kind of a fun process.
There you go. That's the recap of what Ms. Pastore just talked about.
And the VSAC scholarship book, easy peasy. You just go to vsac.org and I think this whole presentation is already on our website. So there's a live link to it from there. But again, easy enough just to go to vsac.org and you'll be able to find the scholarship very easy from there.
Yep, so vsac.org and then click on Find Scholarships. There's the PDF of the booklet. You can make a VSAC account. If you have not already, you click on the My VSAC rectangle on the top right corner of the page.
We hope you already have a VSAC account because you've applied for the Vermont State Grant when you did your FAFSA. Let's just hope you've all done that. If you haven't, do it.
Free money. So you can log in, which you should be doing. If not, you're registering, click there. And then take some time, like Ms. Pastore said, to go through the booklet and find at least one scholarship you are eligible for, but I bet you are eligible for more. And again, just apply. Don't hold back because you don't think that your family is eligible for one reason or another. Just apply. You can't win if you don't apply.
All right, real quick, I know we're over time, but I want to just show you the back of the book. See these black tabs, when they turn gray, you're now in the back of the book. These are other scholarships. So for example, I'll go up just a little bit. Here we go. So the Borowitz Morrow Music Scholarship, eligibility, required documents, application. So it tells you where to get the application. You can email for it, or you can go to this website and then the amount. And then, VSAC does this cool thing for you. They don't always know how many applicants they're going to be in, but they do know how many awards they're going to be in. So you get a feel for like, hey, there's only 25 applicants and on average, and I'm going to be one of them. So so I think that's really helpful. And there's a lot of different scholarships that are back here. And again, our students have gotten these scholarships before. Look at this one. 30 applicants for 10 awards, right? Vermont Retail Grocers Association. That's what I was talking about, right? So there you go. You can, and again, they give out 10 awards and there are about 30 applicants. Those are the best odds you're ever going to get for getting a scholarship. So apply, 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 apply.
And watch those deadlines for those unique scholarships there. It says them on the top. And then Mr. Hall, would you mind just going to the first couple pages so we can see if folks forget the directions, they're laid out really easily, really well in the front there. And you can always email us or call us or whatever.
And while you're doing that, there's a few other questions that came up in the chat. We just want to make sure we get through those real quick. Should someone looking to go out to college out of state apply for scholarships in that state? You'll still do the VSAC ones because those are portable, meaning that you can take them out of state. However, sure, take a look. I mean, really just actively search out scholarships. What, and go to the college websites. A lot of times they have really specific ones that you can apply for. Someone asked, are major specific scholarships better than more general ones? Your odds are probably better with those, but I would say absolutely just keep, going ahead and applying as much as you can and prioritizing them. There's another question that came up. I think you could prioritize based on the odds, based on the amount. But like Mr. Hall said before, a lot of times the answers you're going to be given or the essays you might be writing are going to be very similar. So really, once you start this process, it's going to become very fluid. And it won't feel like you're prioritizing. It'll just feel like, okay, here we go. You're chunking out time to do these and getting them sent out.
I know it's late, so this is quick. Check out raise.me if you haven't. It's a scholarship app and website where you can sort of just add in your grades, your testing scores, classes you've taken, leadership opportunities, and different colleges will guarantee funding. It can help you kind of just look at average scholarship awards across different institutions. The link is in the chat. Just spend time.
Real quick, so we put that out every year when we do our presentation in the mid-year during scholarship stuff, but are seniors still able to do that at this point, or was there a deadline for this year?
Ooh, I don't think there's a deadline.
Yeah, double check that. So if any students are going to do that, double check. Some of you hopefully have been doing it because we mention every year, but if not, take a look and see if you can still input as a senior or not. But it's
all right, friends,
awesome.
sorry to run. So we're 5 minutes over time. Sorry about that. I know we've all got other meetings to go to. If you have questions, shoot us an email. Liam's available at VSAC. All of us, you know how to find us. Thanks for attending today. Again, the takeaway is apply, apply, apply. You can't win if you don't play. And again, most of you won't apply. So be the one who does, and you'll stand a much better chance.
And one last thing, we do have some folders, I think, in guidance that have some specific ones that come to us. We try to get them on Naviance, but they just stop into guidance too, and Mrs. Ward can show you where those are. But thanks, everybody.
All right. Have a good day.
All right.
Bye, friends.
Good day.